Lafayette, a 41-year-old man has been convicted of first-degree rape of a 10-year-old girl. Authorities say as a result of the rape, Donald Griffin impregnated the child, who is currently mothered to her 1.5-year-old son. Now, Griffin's sentencing is scheduled for January 31st. Griffin now faces a mandatory life in prison sentence.
Well, a teacher at Palo Verde High School has been arrested for allegedly having sex with a student. Take a look. This is 34-year-old Michael Lloyd. He had been with the Clark County School District since 2016, but was arrested after an investigation. He is facing lewdness and drug charges. Anyone that may have had questionable contact with Lloyd is urged to reach out to CCSD police.
An Adams County man is sentenced after being found guilty of sexual battery against a juvenile. 42-year-old Derek Chapman will serve 30 years in prison with 15 years suspended and 15 years to serve without the possibility of parole for 2 counts of sexual battery. He will also have to register as a sex offender once released. Prosecutors say that he groomed and then raped a young girl for 7 years, starting when she was just 8 years old. Chapman was arrested in June of 2021 when the victim reported what happened to her.
Police say a Maryland man offered to drive a 12-year-old girl home in the rain, and then they say he raped her. 59-year-old James Allen Booker is facing several charges tonight. The victim told police that she was walking home from school last week during a thunderstorm when Booker pulled up and offered her a ride. She said Booker drove her home, but before she got out of the car, she says he raped her. She ran inside and told her parents right away. Booker is now facing several charges, including second-degree rape.
Tonight, Lake City police arrested a man accused of sexually abusing a child younger than 12 years old. According to a news release, this man, Dallas Walters, was arrested on several charges, including sexual battery on a child and aggravated child abuse. Police say the child victim told a witness there was unwanted sexual activity between them and Walters, later telling police this happened on several occasions, but they were afraid to say anything because Walters threatened to kill them if they did. The witness told police, who later arrested Walters. He is being held at the Columbia County Jail without bond.
A school bus driver for Erie Rise Leadership Academy Charter School is arraigned after being accused of sexual assault by a teenage student. 61-year-old Peter Boos was arraigned Thursday on charges including statutory sexual assault and institutional sexual assault, as well as corruption of minors. A 14-year-old student is accusing Boos of sexually assaulting her while at an away basketball game in December. Boos's bond is set at $75,000.
Information now as a man has been arrested after police say he tried to rape an IU student. Thankfully, bystanders stepped in to stop it. Brian Jones has been charged with felony attempted rape and felony sexual battery. According to the IU Police Department, officers were called to Dunn Woods around 5:30 on Friday for an attempted sexual assault. Police say bystanders saw that attempted assault and then intervened. Jones is right now being held at the Monroe County Jail.
Assault case at a health care facility in Phoenix. A woman in a vegetative state for years, suddenly giving birth. Here's Clayton Sandell.
In 24 hours, Nathan Sutherland went from trusted caregiver to accused rapist.
Mr. Sutherland, you're here on 1 count sex assault.
The 36-year-old nurse arrested after a helpless 29-year-old woman in a vegetative state since childhood suddenly gave birth 3 weeks ago to a baby boy at this Phoenix nursing home.
One of our patients just had a baby and we had no idea she was pregnant.
Investigators say Sutherland is the father. He was ordered by a judge yesterday to hand over a DNA sample.
The sample obtained from Sutherland matched the baby.
Hacienda Healthcare says Sutherland has now been fired, apologizing to the victim and her family.
We owed this arrest to the victim. We owed this arrest to the newest member of our community, that innocent baby.
Sutherland did not enter a plea. Tonight, the victim's family says they do not want to comment on his arrest, but the police say that baby boy is doing just fine. David?
Court documents are revealing this very scary situation. IUPD tells us that just around 5:30 on Friday evening, they received reports of a sexual assault in progress here at Dunn Woods. We're told that bystanders jumped in and helped stop the assault and immediately called 911. Officers reportedly found the suspect a short time later at the intersection of 4th and Lincoln Street. He was identified as Brian Jones. IUPD says that he is not affiliated with the university. Police arrested Jones for attempted rape, sexual battery, and several other misdemeanor charges. Now, IUPD is praising the action of these bystanders who moved in quickly, saying in a statement, quote, "The IU Police Department commends the quick action of the bystanders that stepped in when they saw a harmful situation and for swiftly contacting law enforcement. IU is dedicated to preventing and responding to all forms of sexual violence." Now, police say that the victim was given aid and a list of support options following the assault, but still a very traumatic experience nonetheless. Reporting from Dunwoods.
Well, the man arrested in connection with a sexual assault in the Back Bay just pleaded not guilty to those charges. A judge ordered Nahom Gatanea held without bail. Police say the level 3 sex offender, labeled as high risk, attacked an MIT student in her sorority house. WBZ's Katrina Kincaid shows us how that young woman was able to get away.
Police say on Saturday night, the suspect, Nahom Gatane, was on a bike and approached the college student asking for food. That's when they say he groped her and followed her into the back alley of her sorority house and assaulted her.
So that's my alley. I'm supposed to throw out trash there, but I try to avoid it. Usually I just throw it off in the corner.
Police say she fought back and was able to call 911, but the suspect took off on his bike. Residents in the area told WBZ they're thinking of ways to protect themselves now.
I'm considering getting pepper spray myself or just having someone with me when I do take out the trash at night.
The suspect, Gatane, was originally wanted for failing to register as a sex offender, and the state classified him as high risk for reoffending. The attack has women in that area now on alert.
I don't know, it's kind of a little scary. Like, I feel like I walk back and forth here like at night all the time, and so like it's a little concerning to hear.
That's scary. Somebody that lives alone right there, that's a little disheartening.
In Boston, Katrina Kincaid, WBZ.
In just a few minutes, a man will be heading to court to answer to some serious charges.
Lexington police arrested 46-year-old Walker Rye Jr. He's charged with rape, kidnapping, and promoting human trafficking, among other things. As WKYT's Victor Puente reports, the crimes involve a 15-year-old girl. Victor.
Walker Wright Jr. will be in court in about an hour. The charges he's facing include the rape and kidnapping of a 15-year-old girl. Lexington police arrested Walker Wright Jr. yesterday at a home on King Tree Drive. His arrest citation lists that home as his address, but the people at that house this morning told me he hasn't lived there for some time. They didn't want to discuss the charges, just saying he showed up there yesterday and was arrested. The first of the charges listed on his arrest citation is kidnapping. That citation says Wright unlawfully restrained a 15-year-old female. Other charges include promoting human trafficking and rape. They say he engaged in sexual intercourse with that teen. And charge also says that she has an intellectual disability. The last two charges are unlawful transaction with a minor, first and second degree. Police say Wright smoked crack cocaine and marijuana with the teen. Lexington police have told us they can't comment on the charges because the case is so convoluted. They're still sorting out what happened. They also normally don't discuss cases involving sexual assault. According to court records, Wright has had some drug-related convictions in the past. But looking through those records, as far as we could tell, this is the first time he's ever been charged with anything this serious. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Of course, is a big issue here in Georgia with our major interstates and, of course, the world's busiest airport. That's where Atlanta News First Chelsea Bimeford joins us live from. And Chelsea, this is an issue that is top of mind for lawmakers.
It is, and the airport has been named a trafficking hub by several local and state leaders over the last couple of years. It's a place where millions of people pass through a day, but really human trafficking can take place anywhere.
You come after our children, we will be coming after you.
Last month, Governor Brian Kemp, his wife Marty, and Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens spoke at the Atlanta airport about the millions of passengers who pass through every day and noted that human trafficking happens here in plain sight. The National Human Trafficking Hotline rates Atlanta as having the second highest trafficking rate in the country.
Sadly, our success makes us a target for traffickers. All of those people coming here ends up some of these individuals are in the business of buying and selling human beings.
Human beings like a young girl in Cobb County. Lawrenceville police report that they found a juvenile in distress on Collins Hill Road this week, roughly 40 miles from her home. They determined she may have been trafficked and arrested Antonio Johnson Irvin, Trayvon Nicholas, and Trey Trevelyan. It's a scenario that Natifa Joseph is all too familiar with.
I was
13 or 14 when I first was approached by my exploiter.
Joseph says years ago, a man promised her large sums of money in exchange for photos, dates, and sex. Eventually, she escaped from her trafficker and now shares her story to encourage other people to educate themselves or get help.
I don't want no one else to feel that alone feeling or that shame, because it's nothing to be ashamed of, because you didn't do it to yourself. No one wakes up and say, I want to be child sex trafficked today.
And we are working to learn more details about the Lawrenceville juvenile trafficking case, but police tell us because a juvenile is involved, there are only going to be limited details released. Reporting live from the Atlanta airport tonight, Chelsea Bime for Atlanta News First.
Tonight, could child sexual abuse at a Howard County daycare have been prevented? That's what people want to know after accusations from 3 years ago for the same employee have now come to light.
Well, WMAR-2 News' Elizabeth Worthington has been working on this story. She first broke it last month, and she's explaining these unveiled allegations tonight for us. Elizabeth.
Yeah, Jamie and Kelly, it was shocking enough for parents in Howard County to learn a man entrusted to care for their kids was accused of abusing a young girl for years. But now they're learning that same employee was already accused of the same thing 3 years ago in Baltimore County, and the people who could have pursued the case chose instead to do nothing. At Glenwood Country Day School in Woodbine, an 11-year-old girl says Damian Patterson started sexually abusing her when she was 9. After 2 years, she reported the alleged abuse, and Patterson was arrested in early January. He was let out on bail, but less than 2 weeks later, he was arrested again. But this time, it was for accusations from 2021. At that time, Patterson worked at another daycare in Baltimore County, Padonia Park Child Centers. There, a 9-year-old girl says she was touched inappropriately by Patterson. She told her parents, social services, and the police got involved, and the case was referred to the state's attorney's office. But Patterson was never charged, at least not until after he was charged in Howard County in 2024. Why? Well, that's what we're trying to find out. This morning, we left a message with Baltimore County State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger's office.
Right.
When we heard back, we were told he was busy all day, but wouldn't be able to comment anyway because it's pending litigation. But we passed along this question. What his message is to parents who might now be hesitant to report their children's abuse allegations because they fear it might just be a waste of their time.
A lot of things go into charging decisions there.
We turned to Adam Rosenberg from LifeBridge Health's Center for Hope to ask what parents and childcare facilities need to know to protect kids. Do child predators seek out employment in places like preschools and daycares where children are?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, look, if you're going to go fishing, you want to go to a fishing pond where there's a lot of fish.
But he says there are things daycares and schools can do to signal to potential abusers. You can't get away with that here.
When you create an environment where no child is left alone, where that all contact is interruptible, all contact is observable, that there's constant supervision and there's constant education around what's appropriate and what's not appropriate there, that predator will feel less comfortable being able to be successful there.
In the Baltimore County case, charging documents say the victim said the touching happened 4 times a day, every day she was there. And, quote, the victim does not believe anyone else could see Damian touching her. The girl told investigators it happened after her other teacher left for the day, while other kids were busy playing, and it would stop right before she was supposed to get picked up by a parent.
National studies have shown historically that less than 3% of children are making it up. And so if a child is saying that something happened, odds are that something happened.
So here's what we still want to know. Why was Patterson not charged back in 2021? And did Glenwood Country Day School do a reference check before hiring him? Did they call Padonia Park Child Centers? We called Glenwood again today, and we were told that they aren't answering questions about this.
This is so frightening as a parent, Elizabeth. Is the school shut down?
The school has been shut down since January 5th. The State Department of Education, by law, they are required, the daycare is required to inform them if any employees are currently under criminal investigation. They did not do that, so the Department of Education shut them down temporarily, and they still are shut down today.
Here's the problem. If I'm a parent and I go online, do I see any of this online when I'm registering my kid?
No. And I talked to a parent this week who signed up her kid for summer camp at Glenwood Country Day School. She took him there last year, and she said she was never informed by the school about this abuse. She heard about it on the news. She had no idea if her kid came into contact with Patterson until she asked him about it. Fortunately, he never had been in contact with him, but she's just waiting for a refund.
Oh,
Great reporting,
All
Elizabeth.
right. Elizabeth, thank you for staying on top of that. We hear it from her.
Yeah,
We don't see it online.
Not from the school.
Yeah.
Dramatic home surveillance video of the moment a good Samaritan helped save a teenager from being sexually assaulted. It's a story you'll see only on KHOU 11 News. Ugochi Iloka joins us live from where it happened off Wood Forest Boulevard, north of I-10.
Ugochi, thankfully that good Samaritan stepped in.
Stephen Ron, this man is being called a hero for taking action quickly to rescue a 15-year-old girl. And sadly, he says this is not the first time he's had to chase after a man trying to hurt a young child. This incident was caught on camera. Here it is.
Hey, come here.
Yeah, we paused the surveillance video to keep from showing the 15-year-old victim. As you just saw, the Houston area middle school teacher was seen pointing a gun at a man he says was beating up a teen girl on the ground and trying to take her clothes off. He told our crew last night that he was getting ready for bed when he heard the teen yelling for help. The Harris County Sheriff's Office says this man allegedly followed the 15-year-old into the apartment complex when she got off a Metro bus nearby around midnight last month. Garza says the suspect had the girl by her hair. He tells us when he pointed the gun at the suspect, he took his hands off her right away, but then went chasing after her. That's when Garza went chasing after him, and eventually the teen got away. He and a neighbor witnessed what happened.
I was scared too, I'm not gonna lie, but she needed help more than I was afraid, so I had to do it.
At first I was scared because I literally thought she was about to get raped. I think if he didn't come out, she probably would have got raped or something.
Yeah, very scary there. So glad that young girl is okay today. Now, investigators say if you have any information in regards to the suspects, to call the Harris County Sheriff's Office right away. And we have more details in reference to what this suspect was wearing during his attack, available on our website, khou.com. Reporting live in East Harris County, Ugochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
Right now at 5:30, a high school employee arrested and accused of making unwanted advances on a student. She's now facing several charges of battery.
Local 10's Cody Weddle is live with this developing story for us. Cody.
And Louie and Christy, police say the school secretary just would not stop with her advances. She allegedly caressed this boy. She asked for his phone number, and she continued to persist, allegedly, even though he was becoming so uncomfortable that he was on the verge of a panic attack. A 35-year-old office secretary at Miami Killen Senior High School arrested, facing felony charges. Miami-Dade police say Vanessa Vigil continually persisted in pursuing a romantic relationship with a 16-year-old student. The alleged flirtatious behavior made the boy feel like he was having a panic attack on one occasion. He described feeling very nervous and uncomfortable. In one incident, as the student bent down to pick up something, she allegedly began tapping his lower back with her nails and said, quote, "I would have bagged you if I was in high school."
It's pretty disturbing. But it happens with people in power roles. It happens a lot.
Police say the secretary touched the boy a total of 5 times, asked for his phone number, gave him a keychain, and even told him she loved him. In one encounter, she allegedly placed her hands on her buttocks and looked back at him and smiled, then placed her hand over his chest and said, quote, "You should get out of here before I do something I'm not supposed to."
I'm just shocked. I never imagined that would happen here at school. Both of my children have gone here.
Vigil now faces 5 charges of battery and offenses against a student by an authority figure. And all of that alleged inappropriate touching, it all happened on the lower back, the arms, and the face. Police are saying that at least one of these encounters was captured on security video, and they also say that another student also observed some of this behavior. We're live here in Southwest Miami-Dade. I'm Cody Weddle.
Arrest of a high school security guard who's accused of trying to force sex on a student, and he just got out of jail. Local 10's Rosh Lowe is live with the disturbing details from the arrest report. Rosh.
He just got out of jail about 5 minutes ago. I told you we would be there. We were right there. And as he's walking out, he did everything he could to dodge us, but we were able to ask him a whole bunch of questions. Kayon, it's Rosh Lowe from Local 10 News. The cops say that you licked your lips with a kid, Kayon? What do you want to say about that? Kayon, I'm trying to give you an opportunity to speak. Kayon, you're a school security guard, right? And this kid said that you offered him $100, vodka, orange juice? Kayon Kendrick Whitfield, a security guard at Booker T. Washington High School, facing several charges.
You were arrested for offenses against students by authority figure, false imprisonment, and child neglect.
The details of his arrest concerning. Cops say a juvenile male student asked for a ride home. This turned into a nightmare for the student. That cops say included Whitfield getting vodka and orange juice and offering it to the student. He declined, but then this. Out of the arrest report, the victim stated, when the defendant moved to the middle row of the vehicle, the defendant positioned himself on his knees and began to lick his lips. The victim stated the defendant then displayed a $100 bill to him and handed it to him. The victim questioned, why was he giving him a $100 bill, and then saw the defendant raise one leg and appeared to be trying to mount on top of him.
And you must stay at least 500 feet away from the victim, his home, school, at all times.
Back to the arrest report, the victim stated he ran out of the vehicle, entered the driver's seat of the vehicle, and drove himself to his home address. The victim stated the defendant's actions appeared that the defendant was trying to engage him into having sexual intercourse with him. Yeah, we were right next to this guy for several minutes asking him a whole bunch of questions, and he gave us no response. The school district did have a response, though. They were troubled by this. They say they're going to fire this guy, make sure he doesn't get another job with the district. We're live outside the jail here in West Miami-Dade. I'm Rosh Lowe, Local 10 News.
So disturbing.
Good evening. First on News 2 at 6 o'clock, the man accused of raping an LSU student in her dorm room was provided a pathway to bond.
Cody Stovall in court today setting bond with some conditions attached. News 2's Katie Easter is outside the courthouse with those stipulations.
26-year-old Cody Stovall did not have very much to say to the judge after he told him if he pays his $250,000 bond, he will be on house arrest. The judge telling him that the rape allegations are a very serious crime. This is Cody Stovall, the man accused of raping an LSU student in her dorm room on October 9th. According to a warrant, he met the victim on Instagram and went to the dorm with a friend. Eventually, he told his friend to go check on his car, leaving Stovall and the victim in her dorm room. The warrant says that's when Stovall put a gun to the victim's head. He allegedly put the gun down as he started to kiss the victim and undress her. According to the warrant, the victim told police she was too nervous to move. She told police that's when he raped her. This is just one of several high-profile crimes on LSU's campus this semester. How easily Stovall brought a gun into the building was concerning to some students.
I am not as worried because I'm farther off campus, but if I were in the areas where these events were happening, I would be very concerned.
Guests are allowed into dorms as long as they are with the student, but grad student Carson Matthews questioned if there should be a different check-in process.
I don't know if you would want to treat it like a school where you have like a metal detector coming in.
Stovall was arrested on Wednesday, but Thursday afternoon, a judge set his bond at $250,000. If he can pay that, he will be on house arrest with an ankle monitor. The judge told him he is not allowed to contact the victim in any way. Stovall is also not allowed to have a gun. He has a criminal history, but pointed out to the judge that all of his charges were dismissed. Stovall also told the judge that he has a 2-year-old son and no job. Live in Baton Rouge, Katie Easter, WBRZ News 2.
A Redford man heads to court accused of disturbing behavior towards shoppers for his own gratification. Police say Miles Lindsay confronted young women as they shopped in stores in Livonia and then performed a sex act in front of them.
Livonia police identified Lindsay months ago, but only after we spent today digging through court filings is Local 4's Sean Lake getting the details. Sean.
Let's talk about this. Again, Miles Lindsay, this is the suspect's name. One incident we're learning about here at the Livonia Walmart, apparently accosting a young woman in an aisle and performing a sex act right in front of her, and then coming right here, walking right to the target and doing the same thing. Do you ever think about your safety once you are inside a store to do some shopping? Tonight, we're uncovering horrific details about this man, Miles Lindsay, and how prosecutors say Lindsay would walk the aisles of the Livonia Meijer, Target, and Walmart, find a woman in an aisle, drop his pants, and perform a sex act right in front of them. The victims are in their early 30s and early 20s. But why are you just hearing about Lindsay now? Court documents we pulled today read that 3 incidents of these sex acts in Livonia happened in late November and early December of last year. Lindsay was convicted of the very same thing in 2018. A judge gave him 2 years probation. Here's the key. His photo was still up in the Livonia Police Department, we are told, from the 2018 case. The officer on that very case recognized him from the video of the more recent cases in Livonia. Warrants for Lindsay were issued, but Lindsay has been out all of this time until his arrest just a few days ago. Back here live, still digging for information on this. If Lindsay was immediately identified by a Livonia police officer, why was he just recently picked up? Livonia police right now not being responsive. When we get an answer from them, we will certainly bring it to you right away. Here are the 2 charges he's facing, guys. Indecent exposure by a sexually delinquent person, going back to earlier cases that he's got convictions on, and also aggravated indecent exposure. He has a court date tomorrow. Back to you.
Okay, Sean,
People out
thank
in
you.
Central Park more at peace Wednesday night after police say this man is no longer stalking sunbathers.
It's a tragedy. It's a horrible thing to happen. And I think that we have to hold folks accountable.
Jermaine Longmire was arraigned earlier in the day on charges he attempted to rape a 21-year-old woman late last month on the Upper West Side.
She fought back, and she fought back hard. The survivor began to physically struggle with the perpetrator while screaming for help. It is believed that her actions caused the attacker to climb off of her and run away.
After a 2-day dragnet, cops got a big break thanks to a witness who came forward. Detectives then discovering surveillance video of the suspect.
It is important to note that any facial identification match is not considered enough evidence to establish probable cause for an arrest. This is merely a clue.
But since the 43-year-old was a convicted felon charged with sex crimes up and down the East Coast, forensics lifted DNA from the survivor's bikini bottom, and it matched Longmire's.
While this could seem scary, I think what's more important is that we sort of realize and understand sort of the statistics about it.
Erin Williams is a social worker who helps women in shelters. Despite rapes being up 60% this year in the city,
we're up 25 victims of domestic violence rapes for the quarter. We're up 33 victims of acquaintance rape victims, and we're up 16 victims of stranger rapes.
She agrees with the NYPD that the alarming numbers are likely due to more awareness.
The amount's probably staying the same, but the amount that's being documented is going up because people are speaking up about it.
My dog is like my child. I don't, I know people say, oh, he's just a dog, but if they just don't understand how I feel bad.
Saturday morning, police arrested 40-year-old Kimberly Lawson for allegedly having sex with a dog, a German Shepherd named Adam. The dog's owner, Caroline Morris, says she found out about the abuse when her neighbors came and told her what they saw.
Saturday morning, and he just said that somebody is having sex with our dog. And I just could not believe it, and I said, let's call 911. That's what we did.
Neighbors say they called police after they saw Lawson pull down his pants, get on his knees, and allow the dog to mount him.
We wouldn't have thought that somebody, I'm just going to say it, raping our dog, because that's what he did. I had to tell Adam he did not do nothing wrong. The man did it wrong.
Morris says she believes the abuse has been going on for nearly a month because Adam has been acting strange. Witnesses who saw the act told police the dog mounted the suspect on at least 3 total occasions within an hour's time.
I had let Adam down. That's how you feel. That's the truth. As a parent, if you're a parent and if your child get violated like that on the body, you'll feel like you let the child down because you was not around to protect him. That's how I feel.
In Memphis, Marcus Hunter, Fox 13 News.